Now, broadcasting from deep within your stepmom's basement, it's the Plex podcast.
In this world, cesspool of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Piss-drunk fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. I just can't understand it. How could divine by deception and lies? Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, Sherlock! I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, Sherlock! Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in a pool of blood and cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like cats ready to gag. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bone's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The podcast put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, Sherlock! I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, Sherlock! Read into the lyrics, so let the buggies will quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do this show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. And simulcasting to other places that just don't matter. You can support this project by going to echoplexmedia.com. Click the support link at the top of the webpage there and pick your favorite way. Merch is the best way, but also recurring donations via Patreon or eplex.store, powered by Fourth Wall, are also great because they put some predictability into my life. People watching live on Twitch, you know how the monetization works here. I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Grindr, and I'm just here to remind you every once in a while of one fact.
Everything's fine, and everything's fine, and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine, and everything's fine, and it's great. Thanks. what do you do? Sorry I'm late, I kept hitting snooze. It's just one of those days. You know what they say. It is what it is. Ignorance is bliss. When it rains, it pours. Couldn't ask for more. What goes around comes around, all in good time. I guess that your guess is as good as mine. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine. I hope you have a real nice day. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine and it's great. Thanks. Everything's fine and everything's fine. I hope you have a real nice day.
So it was a slow news week. Man, that's not true. We have a lot to get through this evening on the show. First, the most amazing story ever. As we all know, there was supposedly some crime list of crime people I do crimes with or whatever that everybody thought Epstein had, which I'm skeptical of. But there were a lot of documents regarding the investigation into Jeff Epstein's network, let's say. And, well, actually, no, there aren't. No, there aren't. And no, there aren't. And it's such a bad state of affairs that Peter Ducey, the other Deuce on the loose from Fox News, asked about it.
That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
I've got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the...
Ignore the evidence of your eyes and your ears. It's their final, most essential command.
the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Oh man, the absolute fucking meltdown. Just the balls of these people. There's a minute missing from a videotape that was that is out there there's a videotape supposedly of the inside of the prison where Jeff Epstein was being held. There's a minute missing. And I think that's not super uncommon or whatever, right? Like there's many reasons that surveillance is incomplete, hard to look at, whatever. Some of these systems are old, but you know, I mean, if we're going to be piling on, let's just fucking pile on these people. Fuck it.
Back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence.
We released the video. It definitively showed, well, the video isn't conclusive.
Prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
You didn't release a video showing that shit. No, you didn't. No, that's incorrect.
What was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it.
Wait, what do you mean you're looking for that video to show that? Could you just show another video, like any other video? Because if a minute's missing every night, you don't need to go looking for the video with a minute missing. There's a lot of them. Or it's every night. Any of those old systems, any you just show it. Did they have to change the tape? If they have to change the tape, why is it exactly a minute? This is stupid. This is dumb as fuck. I don't think that there's anything nefarious going on there, or I don't think there's likely anything nefarious going on there, but fuck it. Just give these people hell. My God. Here's John Ossoff. He is gonna say what everybody's thinking.
President Trump promised to end the wars. He promised to release the Epstein files. Did anyone really think the sexual predator president who used to party with Jeffrey Epstein was going to release the Epstein files?
You know what's amazing to me is that they didn't just fabricate something. Why not just fabricate something? Anyway, there's some people that aren't happy, and first and foremost, the most not happy person of all of the not happy people in the world about this is one Mr. Alex Emmerich Jones. Here he is in his car. This is long, but we're running the whole fucking thing. The podcast of this show is going way long tonight.
Well, I woke up this morning and turned my phone on, and there were hundreds of text messages.
I wish I'd have had his number. I'd have texted him too that morning.
My God, the DOJ just put out a letter that I know you've all seen now, saying there is no Epstein client list. There never was any blackmail operation. Epstein killed himself. And
that's the part I believe. I believe that Jeff Epstein, when a man who lived a life of privilege, when faced with even any possible prison time, might have taken his own life. Yeah, I have no problem believing that.
So everybody wants to know what I think. Well, I know what's going on, and so I'll tell you.
I know. I have the truth. I know what's going on.
Trump had two ways to go with all of this. He could prosecute all of these incredibly prominent people, household names, or they could use the information to blackmail the deep state.
Oh, it's the white hat sees fucking 8th dimension chess.
Church have a lot of contacts and know Trump's MO. And he's not into kids. He's not into being peed on and Russian hotels. All that was lies. We now know from the CIA and Brennan and the very crew running the Epstein operation. But the reason that you are seeing this deep sixth is because the CIA with the Mossad and MI6 was running Epstein, and it was an official U.S. government operation, multinational, and it was the family business.
Oh, I ain't buying this.
And Maxwell's dad.
Yeah, it's because Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was apparently fucking Mossad. Oh my God, the fucking cope, dude. The absolute fucking cope is amazing. It's just like, man, just fucking, why can't you just accept that the guy's your ghoul, but he's your ghoul? Why can't you just say that? Be like, well, this is some ghoulish shit, but I mean, I don't know. At least he's rounding up the Mexicans or something, man. I mean,
record. So, if Trump was to actually prosecute this, it would bring down the CIA. And so that's why you've had Comey, who controlled the files over at the FBI with the CIA, but on that end of the DOJ.
Going all the way back to James Comey on this shit. This is amazing. Whatever it is, it's everybody. It's the last. It's the fault of the other people. It's all their fault. It's the Mossad.
having his daughter do all the main cover-ups, not just with the Epstein and Maxwell case, but obviously P. Diddy and the rest of it. So
they don't have anything to do with each other, I don't believe.
The swamp winning. The question is Trump's DOJ actually using this to control the deep state?
No.
Or are they just so overwhelmed by it, they are tapping out?
There couldn't be any other reason. No other reason at all. It's just that the deep state, are they too powerful? or are they using it to blackmail the deep state because the deep state's too powerful? No other possible explanations here.
Let me explain logic here.
Oh, that's great. We're going to get the logical version, right? Like Occam's razor. People think it means the simplest answer is the right one, but that's not it. It's like the answer where you have to make the fewest assumptions is often likely the right one. And this one is just like, there were powerful people in those documents, some of whom were associated with Trump and some of whom were his enemies. And the calculation was probably that it wasn't worth it, right? That the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze.
All obvious inside sources, we're the ones that broke with the FBI whistleblowers, O'Boyle and others, Seraphin, all of this that was first unfolding 5 months ago when they were supposed to, have this 14 terabytes. They'd send it out.
They're supposed to send out 14 terabytes. The fuck they were. What the fuck did they have 14 terabytes of? Unless that dude legitimately filmed everybody. But if it was supposedly with minors, they don't release that stuff at all, for reasons you don't have to really think about too hard.
Investigation of Pam Bondi went on Fox a bunch of times. So did U.S. attorneys from New Jersey, and said, "Oh yeah, we've seen it, hundreds of new victims and videos and all kids being raped. Hundreds of new victims were going to be releasing it." So you wouldn't say all that if you were planning to cover it up from the beginning. So
the fucked up part about this is we know the names of a lot of people. It's academics like Steven Pinker and Lawrence Krauss. It's business people like Bill Gates and Donald Trump. It's there's some evidence that apartheid Clyde, Elon Musk, had some relationship with the Epsteins, even if it was with Epstein and Ghislaine, even if it was just showing up at the fancy parties. Like, we know Alan Dershowitz was all up in that shit, though. To be fair, he was his attorney. Maybe Alan Dershowitz was just his attorney. I don't know. Alan Dershowitz seems pretty fucking shady to me, but he comes up later in the docket. We already know a lot of the stuff. Some of the victims have come out and named the names. We already know. Julie K. Brown has printed many names of many people involved in this. What they wanted was some sort of fucking thing where it was like all their enemies, everyone they don't like, in one list that the dude just kept in his pocket.
Has changed along the way, and it all points towards this being used to blackmail the deep state. I'm not endorsing it.
I'm not endorsing it, but it's really smart.
But Musk learned about a few months ago and looked like he aged 10 years overnight, looked completely freaked out, and then I think the conscience had to come out and say what he said. I mean, even people like Cat Turd,
even people like Cat Turd. Oh, Cat Turd. Oh, we live in the most fucked up timeline now. He's like, even fucking reputable people like Cat Turd too.
The quintessential will not question anything in the Trump administration is completely freaked out now. I mean, no one is buying this. Patrick McDavid's had really good breakdowns of it all. Jack Posobiec said, okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent because she was found guilty of sex trafficking. So how do you say there's no,
I love it.
Or blackmail or any of this? It's just absolute horseshit on its face, and it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Trump is doing a lot of good, and obviously the deep state's trying to destroy me for supporting him. It's been hell, and a lot of good's happening. I'll say this:
Alex is not going to turn on Donald Trump over this.
This is very, very painful and nauseating. I'm actually physically nauseated in the last 3 hours since I got up and just
when you triple up on your Ozempic dose, you probably don't feel good.
Does. And of course, I instantly knew what was happening when I saw the information. I've talked about the different scenarios here.
I can't believe these people all got conned. They all got hornswoggled. People all got conned by like a famous con man, and they're like, oh my God.
Globalists wouldn't do to keep this from coming out. They've already tried to kill Trump repeatedly. Had they rolled over, I see a lot of signs that, Trump's pretty much in charge now. And so...
Oh, the White Hat. This is pilled as fuck, right? The White Hats are in charge now. You've been telling me this shit for fucking 6 years. Shut the fuck up. The White Hats are not in charge.
Using the information to control the deep state. So meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The Who song won't get fooled again. But I'm going to say this in closing. I'll be covering it all today at 11 a.m. Central when my show kicks off at Infowars.com/show and right here on X and on radio stations across the country. We are seeing 96% reduction in smuggling of humans across the border. They have.
So the funny thing about like smuggling humans across the border is it's hard to quantify. He means like a 90-something% reduction in the appearance of people crossing the border illegally. Most of these people aren't being smuggled or trafficked or whatever.
Raided a lot of people and found human traffickers. They have saved a lot of kids. It's in the federal filings, but they're little kids, so you don't see their names in the news. That's the way that works. These are juveniles.
Are they going to start saying that everybody they arrested that has kids is fucking abusing their kids? I bet they are. Like, as this becomes less and less popular because it looks like the fucking Gestapo, I think they're going to start saying that all these people are like abusing their children, and that's why they were picked up. Maybe not the administration, but the fucking pundits.
That's the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of missing kids, millions of kids total.
Oh, this is fucking Q shit too. Yeah, like hundreds of thousands of kids are reported missing every year, and almost all of them are found pretty quickly because it's like not even a custody dispute, right? It's just like co-parents. People have busy lives. It's maybe a 3-day weekend. Mom thought dad was going to pick up the kids on Friday, but because it was a 3-day weekend and they had maybe talked about it even before, dad picked up the kids on Thursday. Mom gets home from work. The kids aren't there. She freaks out. Maybe can't get a hold of dad. They went camping. Who fucking knows? Dad's cell phone. Dad didn't pay his cell phone bill. I don't know. Any number of things could happen. Most of these kids are found like really quick.
So I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But at the same time, the fact that this is a key. The fact that they didn't just shut up about this, even though they were going to use it for blackmail, or it was too dangerous, seismically for the system to bring it out. And I'm not defending that. I'm saying that would be the thinking. You don't then have Kash Patel and Bongino like deer in the headlights, looking like.
Yeah, they got fucked so bad. They made their careers out of like fucking talking about how the fucking there was a list and there's a fucking just the idea that fucking like a international fucking human trafficker would just have like a little list that was like crime people who I do my criminal crimes with, right? It like reminds me of that scene in The Wire where Stringer Bell knocks the notebook out of somebody's hand and is like, "Are you taking notes about a criminal conspiracy?"
Saying, "Oh no, we've seen everything. There's nothing there. No, he killed himself," and put out this stupid video from outside the cell bay with cops dragging trash cans around going, "Look, this proves he killed himself." You don't do all that unless it's part of a deal with the system that you've got to go out and say that so that you're not complicit in the lie.
Oh. Well, then these people are weak.
And that's why they look like they're being tortured, because...
Did you know this? Actually, Bongino and Kash Patel are they're being like emotionally, they're being MK Ultra'd right now. They did this. It's an MK Ultra thing they did to them, actually. That's why they look so terrible. They look the same as they always looked.
I think both men have had integrity, and I think you see them losing their souls on live TV. This is going to be an unmitigated disaster. I don't know how they got Trump and the DOJ to do this. because the public is not buying it. No one is buying it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know, man. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why they didn't just fucking fabricate some shit, like, two truths and a lie or whatever. I don't know, man. I mean, why wouldn't they just fabricate something?
So I never saw any evidence of Trump involved in any of the stuff that came out. It was all fake. The fake Jane Does, all the crap.
Wait, you never saw any What? They were homies, fool.
Eugene Carroll, the crazy leftist cat lady, all of it. So,
Eugene Carroll has nothing to do. Eugene Carroll has nothing to do with the allegations that Trump was involved in Epstein's misdeeds, let's say. Eugene Carroll, that has nothing to do with it. Literally nothing to do with it.
By coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens.
I'm going to go throw up right now.
Right.
Just fucking barf out your car window. Fuck it. Just do it right here. Barf right out your car window. I would love to see that.
No, my mouth is watering right now. It's because I have integrity.
Look at him. Did you see him? He did a thing he did a trick that actors do to try to make himself cry. Watch what he just did.
Bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. It's because
that's like a trick you can do to make your eyes. Oh, you fucking dude, you fuck you. You fucking.
I have integrity, and I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this. And, the left, they're all complicit. They're openly promoting pedophilia. We know they're pure evil. They'll think it's really funny. Oh, look, Alex is sad. The MAGA's tearing itself apart. Your globalist masters literally want you to eat bugs and live in a 5G 200 square foot coffin apartment.
Man, I don't know I've never had anything made of cricket flour. It's pretty good. We eat bugs all the time. There's fucking bugs or something used in some food dyes. There's bugs. Yeah, you eat bugs all the time.
Look at the left. Look at them all posing with their Pfizer shots, looking like dead zombies. I mean, come on. You guys are sick. And so you shouldn't look at those of us that have...
So zombies are technically undead.
Still have integrity in pain over this and celebrate, you dumb pieces of fucking shit.
Fucking so here for it. I'm so happy for him.
Going against your own self-preservation, serving this evil globalist system in BlackRock and the New World Order and Hakeem Jeffries and all the rest of it. So I'm just processing this right now. I don't know on what planet Trump is doing all this good stuff in the real world and still being demonized by the corporate media and constant lies like, oh, there was no weather alert for flash floods in Texas by the National Weather Service. There was the day before and over 500 times. It's just constant lies. I needed to.
They don't send you 500 weather alerts on your or whatever, unless he just means that like they mention it on the news, because you get flash flood alerts like on your phone. It's like built into your phone, where like emergency services can like send out a blast to everybody's phone. They send out 500 of them about anything, and you're gonna fucking go into the settings of your phone and find a way to turn that off.
He's being lied about, and then this type of shit happens. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's just. It's beyond insane. You couldn't try to hurt yourself worse. You couldn't try to discredit the FBI worse than what they've done.
Wait, didn't you hate the FBI just like 6 months ago? Oh, but the white hats are in control now.
Pam Bondi, all of it. All those videos are saying, yeah, she's seen the videos. It's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist. I mean, what? 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 Damn it. 11 a.m. today, I'll be covering it. this information goes, I'll always report the truth. God bless you.
He's going through he's going through stages of grief that don't even exist right now, dude. It was I don't know. So on the off chance that Alex Jones ends up turning on Donald Trump, that will be ugly. And I'm so fucking here for it. I think it's very low probability event, but there is some chance that Alex Jones's ego essentially gets hurt so bad once he figures out that Donald Trump used him and people like him to gain power, that he will go fucking ballistic, that he will go absolutely fucking nuclear. And it's going to be amazing if that happens. Again, I think it's a low probability event, but the dude's ego is big and fragile, like anybody with a big ego. Like, I have a little bit of an ego, and to some extent my ego is fragile in some ways, but not like Alex Jones. This is going to be great. I'm so here for in 2 months this guy just turns on Donald Trump. Because in the matter of a couple of weeks, the guy that he's the anti-war president, well, he bombed Iran for fucking no reason, or because Iran pissed off Israel. Donald Trump ain't no friend of Mossad. He doesn't even know what Mossad is, but he knows that they're Jewish. But he doesn't. I don't know. It's complicated. So there's another news outlet, we'll call it, covered this, and we haven't really talked much about the Hill lately. I just know that when you go to the Hill, if you go work there, if you're in any kind of on-air capacity, they replace your brain with worms. And I think when you leave, I think they might offer to put your brain back in your head. I don't know. But here is from Rising, which can't seem to keep posts except for this one weird libertarian guy, about the bombshell memo. They had this graphic made right before this happened, right? Because there was some lead that there was going to be some news on Epstein. So the Rising made this chyron here, right? This bombshell memo. They made this, and so they just went with it, actually. Fuck it.
A new bombshell regarding disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein this morning. Axios obtained a memo from the DOJ that concludes Epstein did not have a client list and that he died.
You know what's amazing is that they didn't just go after Axios saying that this was all fake.
By suicide.
The agencies also say they found no evidence that Epstein blackmailed powerful people. The memo indicates that the Trump administration will release video proof showing that nobody entered the area where Epstein was held on the night he died.
Back in May, both...
Oh, yeah, they did that, but then there was a minute missing from it. But also, like, that video, that video is fucking stupid. I don't understand.
On Fox News, they did believe that Epstein killed himself. Now, many on X and on Blue Sky are pointing to a Fox interview from February with Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Users are saying the video shows an apparent contradiction with the newly released findings. Let's watch.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
Liberal news outlet Midas Touch wrote on Blue Sky, the Epstein list went from sitting on Pam Bondi's desk right now to there is no list in just a few months.
Comedian and podcaster Dave Smith wrote on X, the Trump administration is lying about Epstein. Everyone knows it. Pay attention to who will admit that and who will run cover.
The memo indicates that there will be no more disclosures about the Epstein case as the agency says it's not warranted. The memo reads, through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography.
This is outrageous.
This is great. So they have a file. Not all of it is the videos, but they're like, we're not going to release it. And then they're trying to act like they're taking the high road because the videos include child abuse. You don't have to release the videos. There are other shit in that file.
Given what they have said previously. Yeah, here's the government. Oh, yes, we cannot see. There's no Epstein client list.
Right.
Look, so there's two possibilities here, neither of which are very good. One is that there's no client list. There's truly no damning involvement of anyone else. It's just that him and Ghislaine Maxwell were just sexually abusing people, and it was just the two of them doing it, even though...
Like, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
Reported everything that went on in his.
That's not even an option. This was like this guy was like trafficking minors and some young adults to his friends.
He extensively traveled.
You don't buy an island.
Located relationships with powerful and wealthy people from both political parties and from every aspects of finance and education and elite circles, and that was just all.
I don't think there are a lot of people from education in there, except maybe Steve Pinker and Lawrence Krauss.
He just liked being friends with Bill Gates and others. Right. Okay. And there was nothing to it.
Homie, Bill Gates' wife left him because she knew what was going on. She knew that Bill Gates chose to hang out with this guy when Bill Gates knew what was going on. His wife left him for this and went on TV and talked about it.
Fine, that's one possibility. So now that would still be totally contrary to what Pam Bondi and what everyone else has said all along, including in the administration. Mm-hmm. So shame on them if that's the case, because then they misled their own supporters and they clout chased. And they were dishonest and they were liars. It's contemptible what they've done. The other case is actually, the other situation is more nefarious, which is that there is something to Epstein's connections to everyone, and it is being kept secret for some kind of perhaps national security justification. This is just a rumor, and I don't like to spread conspiracy theories, but I have heard it wondered very openly whether he is an intelligence asset. He provided information on powerful people to our government or the Israeli government or someone else. Given how
maybe he told on people and that's how he got the slap on the wrist in his first trial. But I never heard nothing about that.
Look on this and say, nope, nothing there. That's all.
Yeah.
It's going to make the possibility of that raise the specter of that being the reason. How I would cautiously say that.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is obviously going to.
So that's enough. That's
public suspicion.
The Hill is stupid. Don't get your news from the Hill. Man, poor Benny Johnson. Poor Benny Johnson. He doesn't know what to think, and more so than usual. He doesn't know what to think. Benny Johnson is just beside himself.
Okay. So President Trump has acknowledged that the Epstein files exist here. President Trump has acknowledged that the files were written and that there is something there. He says that they were written, however, by his enemies and therefore will not be released. What? That's new. In this entire zeitgeist. This is something that is wildly interesting. And then he goes all in on supporting Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. No mention of Dan Bongino, where all of this, again, sort of transpired.
You dumb folk. You dumb fuck. Oh, man, he's trying, but he knows. He knows his bullshit. Don't worry though. Did you know Trump is now the deep state? This is great. This is like what happens when you when you basically run your campaign on conspiracy theories. Eventually the conspiracy theory becomes about you.
Agree with a special prosecutor has to be an independent special prosecutor has to take over. Do you believe that DOJ and FBI right now, with the guys who are all close to Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump. But now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's become the deep state?
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles? Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island? Why would you go on?
Oh, Steve Bannon is in there. That's right. Steve Bannon did some video work and shit for fucking Jeff Epstein. Steve Bannon is in there too. I don't think he did the kind of video work you might be thinking he did, but he might have, but I don't think so. But he's in there too. Oh, here's somebody. This is weird. Alan Dershowitz of all people is like, actually, you should just release it all. I think the reason might be is that Alan Dershowitz was a lawyer for Jeff Epstein, and maybe you know, maybe that's all he was. Maybe he was just guy's lawyer, and he knows there's shit in there. He knows there's shit in there on some of maybe his political enemies or whatever, and he wants it released. The other thing is that he knows it's not going to get released, so now's as good a time as any for him to like pretend that he had nothing to do with the guy. Who knows? This is Alan Dershowitz we're talking about.
So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality.
Wait, no. If you're, I don't know. does lawyer confidentiality? If your client's dead, I don't know how this works. If your client's dead.
From a judge and cases, and I
no, it's that he doesn't know shit, or maybe he does know shit, but he can't prove it and doesn't want to get fucking nailed for defamation, or he's eventually gonna come out and just start naming names, and it's gonna like this guy could blow this whole thing up.
Is what I know, but I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just. Wait, no, I don't know enough about attorney-client privilege. This guy could blow this whole thing up. I don't think anybody's going to believe a word he says, but I think if we're here to party on this one, we're here to party. Anybody remember Clay Travis? He did the Reawaken America tour where he would be like, Betty Johnson. Man, I miss those. I miss those fucking terrorist training camps that they had in the tent revival places. Don't worry, they got Clay Clark, though. They got him, that guy, running interference.
Everything that I have seen suggests that Epstein was preying on women that were of age in some states. I say that.
Oh, Clay Travis is a different person.
Every state has different laws.
Oh no!
What is
he didn't just
was preying on women that were of age in some states. I say that.
As soon as you take those people across state lines, it doesn't matter. As soon as you do anything that involves like interstate commerce or anything, it doesn't matter. It's 18. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are. This is bullshit.
Every state has different laws as to what is the age of consent.
It's 18 almost everywhere. He's probably referring to states where you can marry a child bride.
And for instance, I believe I am correct. I promise you're not going to get fired for looking it up. I think the state of Alabama, the age of consent is 16. There are a bunch of different states. Some of them, we tend to say 18 is the age of minor or majority in the country, and it is true to a certain extent. But there's...
I'm sorry, what?
Actually, every individual state has its own age of consent law. And so some states are 18, other states are 17.
So none of this matters a bit as far as the law goes as soon as you take somebody from one state to another or out of state or out of the country. Right now you're subject to U.S. federal law because your crime or whatever has crossed international or state boundaries. So none of this matters at all as far as the Department of Justice would be concerned.
Some states are 16. I think some states might even be 15. My point on this is Jeffrey Epstein was engaged with 16, 17, 18-year-old girls to the extent that they were underage. Now,
so 18 isn't underage. It would be pretty awful if he was trafficking specifically 18 and 19-year-olds. It would be still trafficking.
Not 9 and 10-year-old girls. Now, everybody's going to clip this and be like, oh, there's a difference. And the difference is in some states, Jeffrey Epstein's behavior would have actually been legal.
Except that he took them out of the country. He took them to somewhere else. This is trafficking. That's like what trafficking is. I'm 48 years old. And if somebody took me somewhere to basically sell my old ass for sex or whatever, that's trafficking too. It's not child trafficking, but it's trafficking. You can't do that to anybody. And the crazy thing about it is if I was complicit in it, I'd be guilty of trafficking myself. The law is pretty weird around that shit. However, the fact that like some states are fucking fucked up, I don't know. I mean, 18, I guess, like people are, you gotta put the age of consent somewhere, and most people are graduating high school at 18. So like, that's fine. Like whatever, we can't, got to draw the line somewhere. Other countries, it's lower. I think the UK is 16. But if you were an American citizen that went to the UK specifically to go fuck a 16-year-old, you'd be guilty of a crime in the United States. Like yo. Anyway, did you know some of the MAGAs are burning their Make America Great hats?
Or MAGA hats are off, America First hats are on.
Oh, they gotta wear the Nikki Fuentes hat instead. Nikki Fuentes ain't fucking nobody, of age or otherwise.
Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
All right, well, that's our Epstein news. It's I could have done 2 hours on Jeff Epstein, but I decided to trim some of it out because other things happened. Like there was a flood in Texas. So here's the Press Secretary Leavitt trying to answer some questions about the flood, which is this is like all unforced errors right here.
Question on the flooding in Texas. I know there has been some concern about the timing of the alerts, knowing that they did go out, but the warnings coming out in the wee hours, so while many people were likely sleeping. Can you share just details what you know about why those warnings were sent while people were likely sleeping, and then what the administration is doing to ensure that these alerts come out sooner?
Well, the alerts imminently were sent out before the flood when people were sleeping because the flood hit in the very early hours of the morning. So people were sleeping in the middle of the night when this flood came. That was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault that the flood hit when it did. But there were early and consistent warnings. And again, the National Weather Service did its job.
It's an okay answer, but this is all unforced errors, right? You go, hey, it was the middle of the night. We were unaware of, we didn't figure out that our people or whatever didn't figure out how severe this was going to be until the middle of the night, and we sent out warnings. Your phone goes crazy when one of these warnings goes off. But she should have said, she could say, hey, in retrospect, maybe we should have sent out 2 or 3 and really done everything we could to like alert everybody, wake people up. But these are all unforced errors because this is like easy enough to just explain. Not even explain away, but just explain. But this is all unforced.
Democrat elected officials are trying to turn this into a political game, and it is not. This is a national tragedy, and the administration is treating it as such. We know the National Weather Service provided early and consistent warnings. They gave out timely flash flood alerts. There were record-breaking lead times in the lead up to this catastrophe.
Saying there were record-breaking lead times. Like, why would you say that? We broke the record for how early we sent an ineffective warning to people.
Ongoing flood monitoring, and these offices were well staffed. In fact, one of the offices was actually overstaffed. They had more people than they need. So any claim to the contrary is completely false, and it's just sad that people are pushing.
Overstaffed? This is like, why would you, again, like, first of all, it seems like a lie based on reporting we've seen. It seemed like some people's calls went unanswered. But like, if you're going to make some shit, why make that up? You're like, I was overstaffed. Well, then what happened with all the cuts? Okay, so Marjorie the Gathering's boyfriend got a press pass. He's, dumb. He's one of those RSBN guys, right side broadcasting guys. You see him interviewing people all the time at Trump events. So here's him asking a question. It's fucking amazing.
Another very busy week here at the White House. We'll lead with our new media seat, Brian Glenn, who is, of course, very present in this briefing room. He's put in a lot of hours covering this president, so we're glad you finally have a seat today. Brian, go ahead.
It feels great to sit down. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I want to go back to the hurricane. You said that President Trump is scheduled to...
That wasn't a hurricane.
Go to Texas later this week. Can you speculate on what day and what he has plans?
Sure. The White House is currently arranging those travel plans. We hope that it will be later this week, likely on Friday, but of course we want to do it at the most appropriate time on the ground for state and local officials. We don't want to interrupt the recovery efforts, but we're planning tentatively for a Friday trip, and when that becomes final, we'll let all of you know, as we always do.
And you gave a little bit of reaction earlier, but the National Weather Service, the union, actually publicly stated they had an adequate staff on hand to forecast and predict the storm. You shared your thoughts earlier on how the way the left has really weaponized this to blame the deaths in Texas on Trump. Want to comment on that again?
Yeah, I just do think those comments are depraved and despicable.
They're depraved and despicable. The homeboy doesn't even know that, like, he probably thinks that every flood is because of a hurricane. I know he just misspoke, but, like, come on. It's a flood. It's a flood. This one's interesting. We don't want to cry wolf on a flood. We don't want people to, like, accidentally, like, prepare for the worst. Don't want to cry wolf.
Was there any discussion about that among the officials?
So, repeat your question.
Was there any discussion to evacuate or activate any emergency plans before it was too late, where it would be very dangerous like that?
Well, so again, just like disasters in Texas everywhere, it's very tough to make those calls, because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf. We don't want to make sure that we activate it at the right time. It is very difficult, very challenging, especially with this. We're looking at 100 kilometers, right? That's a big straight line distance. That's not even along the river. These areas take a lot of time to get out to. So even when first responders were on the ground at 3:30 in the morning, and we had reports, we had first responders that were getting swept away, actually responding to the first areas of rainfall. That's how quick it happened. First responders who have experience, who are Swiftwater qualified, were driving to as soon as the rain started falling, were driving to these areas, and one of them got swept off the road.
So that didn't answer the question. He's like, don't want to cry wolf. Well, if you had been a little more cautious, now I don't know what information was available or whatever, but if you had been more cautious and people had gotten ready to go or whatever, and then like it was less severe, like nobody would have been mad at you, dude. It's not like you're doing that shit all the time. Anyway, did you know that the old system is actually in the process of being replaced by some fucking, I don't even know. I guess I don't think this is true, but, I guess they're supposedly replacing the flood warning system, and they hadn't finished it or something. I don't fucking know. These people will just goddamn say anything. I don't know why you can't just take the L. And I lost to a flood. We didn't have the information we needed, and the flood happened, and it was bad. Like what that's a fine response. We're mobilizing as much support as we can. I don't know why they're doing all this fucking bullshit. It doesn't make sense. They're just like, they can't ever say that something went wrong on their watch, even if it isn't their fault. It's so weird.
But frankly, the National Weather Service under President Trump has been working to put in new technology and a new system because it's been neglected for years. It's an ancient system that needed to be upgraded. And so President Trump recognized that right away and got to work on it when he came into office in January. But that installation is not complete and that technology isn't fully installed, but the alerts went out. We can continue to learn from every single situation, but know that during these times when we are trying to help people heal from situations like this, the best thing to do is to look and see how we can help and how we can walk alongside people and get them some relief. Make sure that we're doing all that we can to be more proactive in the future, but get through this terrible time right now as well.
Sure, but it was so if we would have put in our system, it would have worked, is kind of what she said, which is crazy talk. Don't worry, here's more of cosplay Christie. I guess God saved some people or something. I don't know. I guess God saved some people from the flood. Not all of them, just some.
I'm extremely grateful for God's hand in that whole situation because hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people were saved.
Think about the people who didn't die. God did that shit. Did you notice that people didn't die? Well, that was God. All them people that didn't die. I mean, everybody'd be dead otherwise. Fake news CNN. They said a mean thing about cosplay Kristi Noem. It's just unconscionable. Unconscionable.
At that point, CNN is basically got a report accusing you of slowing the process. Would you like to respond to that?
Well, there you go. Fake news. CNN again is absolutely trash what they are doing by saying that.
Notice how she didn't say that she the thing they reported is false. That she's just calling them trash.
Because our Coast Guard, our Border Patrol, BORTAC teams were there immediately. Every single thing I was on, they asked for, we were there. The governor and the emergency management director, Nim Kidd, are fantastic.
That the claim was that you are an idiot or you were incompetent and were unaware of how to respond to such a disaster. That was the claim. The claim wasn't that all the other people, the people who with experience in disaster management, the claim wasn't that they're incompetent. The claim is that you're incompetent.
Has said anything about that they didn't get everything that they wanted immediately or that they needed. And I'm proud of the work that we've done to support that. But, we've got flooding going on in New Mexico as well, North Carolina. So I've been visiting with their leadership team and spent quite a bit of time on the phone yesterday with the New Mexico governor, getting them resources as well. And that's what we do. The fact that CNN is continuing to be political and push out fake information and false and information and lies is not shocking, but it's a disservice to the country. It's a real disservice to the country because people start to mistrust anything that comes out then over the news. And then, well, that's true. Yeah, but they just don't trust anybody anymore, and that's not the kind.
That's the project. That's the project that you and Fox News and all these people have been working on. It's the Lugan Press. Well, friends, we knew this part was coming, right? We knew this was coming. Covering the flood. Of course, it was the fucking weather machine. This is Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee. Was the weather machine.
We'll have a tough hearing and we'll hear what's going on. People are saying we're conspiracy theorists, but you don't patent a conspiracy. And these things have been patented, they've been proven they do it.
The patent argument. This is why I'm good. This is where I'm good. I've been making fun of chemtrail people since making fun of like all the way back on Usenet. I was making fun of chemtrail people. You can patent anything. Estimates are that 1% to 2% of things that are patented ever result in any kind of a product or service that people use that is directly like downstream from the patent. We have shared patent lists with chemtrail people. Get them to reshare it of that include patents for Santa Claus detectors, how to walk through a wall, all kind of shit. And they still share that shit to this day because they don't go look up the fucking patents on the list.
Sean Ryan has a podcast out, just oddly enough, this past couple of weeks. A fellow's talking about how they've proven that it works because they will. If you just see the cloud, you just don't really know. You can't prove it. But if you zigzag or create a shape or write your name or say Voice of America across of it and the rain comes down out of that, then you can prove it's happened. And they
what?
It works.
Wait, what?
In some cases. So it's a real
skywriting. What?
Weather manipulation is real, but in the hands of our enemies or some overlord, I think it could be a very detrimental thing. And I'm big on God and just letting him work his magic, not people trying to play God.
We're so cooked. We're so cooked. I remember when I started the podcast, I had people being like, why aren't you just covering the news like a normal fucking person? Why are you covering all this conspiracy stuff? And I'm like, this is going to be the news. This is a problem. I didn't know it was going to be like this because this is all pre-Trump. But I knew that this stuff was like ascendant in our society. It keeps getting better. Did you know that if there wasn't any DEI, that the flood would have, I don't know, not flooded?
We are in a state of national mourning, as we should be. And the Democrats, they're so despicable. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country.
Well, I don't have to lift my fingers to remember things. And all kinds of states have sent aid and individuals in different states have sent aid. The nation of Mexico, our best friend that we fucking shit on all the time, sent fucking people to help. Everybody fucking went, Charlie, shut the fuck up. Everybody, with all of our faults, when things like this happen in America, most people want to help.
What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
I don't know which one's stupider, the weather machine or they hired a black person.
This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence. It's
black incompetence and woman incompetence. Sometimes black woman incompetence. Oh my fucking God.
DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. Let me prove it to you.
Okay.
In 2014, the Obama administration sued the Austin Fire Department, about 11 years ago, fire union, for supposed racial discrimination, resulting in a settlement. So the Obama administration was so worried that the fire department in Austin, Texas was racist, because, you know, when you're putting out fires, you got to make sure that you have a diverse fighting force. All jokes aside, well, the pressure was on the city to prove its diversity credentials. So a few years later,
I'm sorry, did it flood in Austin?
Baker as their first black fire chief. He announced right away that promoting diversity is one of his top priorities. They brought him in from Atlanta, and his priority was not putting out fires or being prepared for floods. No, his priority was to make sure that the fire department was blacker.
All right, that's even if you say that was bad, that's not where the flood happened. This is not where the flood happened. Austin, Texas did not flood. This is not what. Oh, I knew it. They hired a black guy. You know, it would have been like if they would have hired a black lady. Oh, they would have hired a gay black lady. Everybody, think about what could have happened if they hired a black lady. That's as dumb as the weather machine clip. So nobody's like shitting on like the people who helped. Nobody's shitting on the fucking any of the real heroes out there. In fact, this interview with this guy is getting a lot of play, even among liberals, if you could imagine that. So I don't know what fucking cosplay Christie was talking about a little while ago.
Hey, yeah, good morning, everyone. So I'll kind of give you guys a quick synopsis of what was going on. The Coast Guard launched us and decided to send a rescue crew from Air Station Corpus Christi at about 6:30, 7 a.m. on Friday, the 4th of July. I just happened to be on the duty crew with Ian Hopper, Blair Rougefort, Seth Reeves, some of our crew members in the Coast Guard. And they sent us out. We kind of encountered some pretty serious weather, some of the worst flying we've ever dealt with personally. It took us, which should have been an hour flight, probably took us about 7 or 8. Just to get into the landing zone. Once made about 4 different approaches trying to get in, we were able to get boots on the ground with the Air National Guard, Department of Public Safety for Texas, game wardens. And we decided to leave me on scene at Camp Mystic. That was kind of our main triage site we were trying to help out with. And we decided, hey, if we leave the rescue swimmer on scene, we'll have more space in our Dolphin MH-65. So based on that, I got on scene, boots on the ground at Camp Mystic. Kind of discovered I was the only person there. As far as like first responders go. So I had about 200 kids mostly, all scared, terrified, cold, having probably the worst day of their life, and I just kind of needed to triage them, get them to a higher level of care, and get them off the flood zone with a lot of the US-60 Army helicopters.
Talk about how that works. You got 165, close to 200 kids there. How do you get them out? Just one by one?
Yeah, sir, it's a great question. So the United States Army National Guard was landing their 60s with Task Force 1, some of their rescue swimmers, and they were able to land. We kind of came up with 2 different landing zones. There was one off an archery field and then one at a soccer field. So we were able to kind of land those 60s in there. And then I was kind of the main guy as far as like grabbing people, usually like 15 to 10 kids at a time, maybe one adult with them, and bringing them over to those 60s and getting them to a different LZ that was kind of safe and had more first responders than just myself out there.
Had you ever done this before?
No, this is my first one. I haven't had any cases before. I've been a rescue swimmer for about a year, fully trained for about 6 months. So yeah, this is my first experience, but I really just kind of relied on the training we get. Coast Guard rescue swimmers get some of the highest level training in the world. So really just kind of relied on that, and that, just knowing that any of the rescue swimmers in the Coast Guard would have done the exact same, if not better than me. So
training is one thing, but this was the real deal.
Yeah, this is definitely the real deal, but I just remembered that, when I got on scene, there was, 200 kids looking to someone for some sort of comfort and safety. They don't really know what my experience is or my rank or my age. They just know, hey, this guy's a professional and he's here to help us, and I kind of had to live up to that standard. But yeah, the real heroes, I think, were the kids on the ground. Like, those guys are heroic, and, they were dealing with some of the worst times of their lives, and they were staying strong, and that helped inspire me to kind of get in there and help them out.
Well, yeah, this dude's a badass. You never, there's his story was exceptional because he, was on scene to help, hundreds of kids. But there are people in official and unofficial capacities who save people's lives during this and every natural disaster. And it's just it's really interesting that that the Trump administration wants to be like, well, nothing bad would have happened if our computer system would have got installed. It's like, fuck you. Okay, that was our flood coverage, I suppose. Now we're moving on to people talking about the big, beautiful, bodacious bill.
Big, beautiful bill. Rest vote, Democrats are saying that you are gutting the social safety net and that tens and tens of millions of people are going to die. Okay, because whenever there's a spending cut, tens of millions of people are going to die, according to Democrats.
Whenever that's the Democrats every time.
So give a quick rebuttal of that.
It's totally not true, of course. What the benefit social safety net has become a hammock in the last few years, and as a result, dependency has seeped in, and we want to restore the dignity of work. We want people back into the workforce, and this is not a new concept. Bill Clinton.
We want to restore the dignity of work, but also we have no interest in raising the minimum wage, and we're deregulating the company you work for so that they can abuse you on the job.
And signed into law work requirements, and we've now added those to Medicaid. Work requirements includes a lot of different activities. It's not just having a job, it's seeking work, it's volunteering, it's just being people doing something in society and getting them off of the sidelines into the labor force in a way that helps us economically as well. So we're thrilled that notion has been discussed about again, and I think the Democrats, with their caricatured responses and their fear tactics, are just going to end up proving to the American people the reality and the common sense of what the president signed into law this last weekend.
This is all dumb. First of all, this isn't like welfare, like cash welfare, right? This is you get medical treatment if something happens to you. All this does when you cut this stuff is it just fucking puts hospitals out of business, right? Where I live, it'll be not fine. The hospitals are going to take a hit here, and people's quality of care is probably going to suffer. But if you go in there with an emergency, the hospitals are not going to turn you away. They generally can't. And so they just end up paying for it, and that's it. So it just, the fucking shit always rolls downhill. But you know how we just saw that very attractive and very heroic young man who was helped save the kids, the first responder. Well, from the same interview we just checked, did you know that first responders at firehouses absolutely love this big, beautiful, bodacious bill? They're talking about at the firehouse.
Any Republican tax cut is a tax cut for the rich. It ain't so in this bill.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Democrats have never updated their talking points for President Trump's administration, both in the first term and this term. I mean, his tax relief has always had distributional tables and results for all Americans. And
no.
Proportionally, those...
I mean, maybe, but if I get like a small tax cut, like rich people get like a higher percentage and just like way more money.
That are in the middle class and the lower end of the spectrum. And so this is a phenomenal bill. we're going to see no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I'm getting people.
No, it's not no tax on tips. It's a deduction up to a certain amount on tips for that sunsets. The same with no tax on Social Security. It's a deduction up to a certain amount that sunsets. This is not no tax on tips. This is not no tax on Social Security.
Cops and people who are first responding texting me and saying, the firehouse can't believe how awesome this bill is. You're going to see that as
like this guy knows any fucking working people. Get the fuck out of here. The fire department's like, let me contact the Trump administration.
People begin to update to how their life on the ground in reality has changed for the better. And we're excited to continue to do more as we're just now getting started.
All right. Well,
I'm sure glad that firefighter Bob fucking called you. Get the fuck out of here, dude. This guy didn't get a call from a fucking firefighter. Why do these people make up these fucking stories, dude? I don't understand. We got more. This is about Trump. He just stays winning. We have a genius of a president, and it's somebody who understands business. It's just the fucking talking point, the constant talking point from these dumb fucks. Wonderful websites that we use here. I'm just waiting for this video to load. Oh, there it goes. Hell yeah. Good job, Blue Sky.
All right, Congressman. The experts, boy, if we had listened to them, it was just going to be doom and gloom. But boy, I think America's feeling good about itself right now.
You know, Jason, first of all, it's good talking with you again, my friend. I've been asked a long time ago, how did it feel to win the Super Bowl back in the 80s? Well, for Americans, this is how it feels. We are moving forward. We've overcome obstacles. We've shown that we can be underdogs and come out of it. And I'm excited about where the country's going. And here's a little update for those Democrats. We have a genius of a president, someone who understands how to run a business. He's a billionaire because of it. He understands how to negotiate. He's a billionaire because of it. So I think they should sit on the sideline, just kind of watch for a while. Reading from the teleprompter does not make them experts at business and the economy. And obviously right now we're seeing what it looks like to be America first and to be smart about how to move our country forward and have trust in the American people versus experts. So I'm excited about where we are right now for sure.
I wonder how these people are going to feel when the produce prices finally go up, because I don't think Mexico came to a deal with Trump. They'll just blame the Mexicans probably. Here's Pennsylvania Governor Shapiro talking about the cuts to Medicaid. Again, we're talking about cuts to Medicaid. We're not talking about like cuts to like, we are sending you cash money. These are cuts to like a service that reimburses the hospital when you have to go to the hospital. So here's Josh Shapiro talking about knocking millions of people off of Medicaid.
310,000 Pennsylvanians are going to be kicked off of Medicaid. 140,000 Pennsylvanians are about to lose their SNAP benefits. That's the food assistance benefits. And we have about 25 rural hospitals that are both working with an operating deficit, where about 50% or more of their revenues are coming from public payer, right? Coming from Medicaid. And so if you're already facing a deficit and your Medicaid is being slashed, we estimate that there's about 25 rural hospitals that are likely to shutter in the next few years because of this. Here in York County, just to put a finer point on it, 9,762 York Countyans are about to lose their Medicaid because of this vote, and about $11 million is going to be ripped away.
Oh, and another thing, because the states sort of handle it through the exchanges, a lot of people don't even know they're on Medicaid. Like I don't get information about Medicaid specifically. I'm on a county plan for Alameda County, and it's partially funded by Medicaid. These people don't even know they're on Medicaid.
Just here in York County. So I want you to know what they voted for, okay? They voted to give a tax cut to those at the highest income brackets who frankly don't need it, and to pay for it by slashing Medicaid and SNAP and harming rural hospitals. This isn't politics. This isn't hyperbole. They knew what they were voting for. They voted for it. It's now law in Pennsylvania. As to the second part of your question, let me be very clear. Pennsylvania can't backfill this. We don't have the money to do it. I warned these members of Congress that we couldn't do it. And so the cuts that are about to come are coming as a direct result of how your federal representatives voted here. We can't fix this for them. They're taking billions of dollars away from Pennsylvania, and we can't make up for that. And so this is our sad new reality, that the federal government of the United States believes in knocking millions of people off of Medicaid, millions of people off of food assistance, all to pay for a tax cut for those at the highest income brackets. I don't think it's right. I made my voice heard on this. Those representatives chose to vote the other way, and now the consequences hang on them.
Yeah, this is wild. But a lot of people have said, "Oh, the states will cover it. The states will cover it." California is a rich fucking state, and California can't cover that shit any more than Pennsylvania can. California is better situated, I suppose. But all that's going to happen now is that, like, the amount of money that the contributing states give, and then don't get back in services from the federal government, because a lot of the services that come back to the states from your tax money, a lot of those services are Medicaid, SNAP, and stuff. That's a lot of what goes back to the states. It's not that it's a giant part of the budget. It's just a lot of what goes back to the states from the federal government. And so now California is going to be in a position where they're paying, we're paying just as much, maybe more, into the federal government and getting less in return for it. And there's no way really for a state like California, Texas even, or Massachusetts, New York, to stop giving that money to the federal government, because it's not like the state collects the money and then gives it to the federal government. A lot of it just comes out of your taxes and goes right to the federal government. So it's fucked. It's totally fucked. I never had a problem with the fact that California's largesse was paying for, Social Security or for Medicaid and other things for people in poor states. I don't think anybody here was really upset about that. But now those people in poor states are probably going to fucking blame like immigrants and fucking Californians and liberals and stuff when their fucking health insurance goes away. Maybe if they got it on the exchanges, they're going to blame Barack Obama because they think what they have is Obamacare and not Medicaid. Like, we're gonna see all kind of different fucking versions of the story here. Ooh, speaking of different versions of a story, whatever happened to all those deals that the president was going to make with all these countries?
Mr. President, on tariffs, what happened to 90 trade deals in 90 days?
We've spoken to everybody. We know everything. It's all done. I told you, we'll make some deals, but for the most part, we're going to send a letter. We're going to say, welcome to the United States. If you'd like to participate in the greatest, most successful country ever. I mean, we're doing better than ever. We have, I don't think, and you're going to see these numbers soon. We've never had numbers like this. We've never had investment like this. We have more than 90. We're going to have much more than 90, but most of those are going to be sent a letter. This is exactly what I said. Now, we've made a deal with...
Yeah, you sent a letter to Mr. Japan.
United Kingdom. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal. We're close to making a deal with India. Others we met with, and we don't think we're going to be able to make a deal, so we just send them a letter. If you want to play ball, you have to. This is what you have to pay. So as far as I'm concerned, we're done. We're sending out letters to various countries, telling them how much tariffs they have to pay. Some will maybe adjust a little bit, depending if they have a cause. We're not going to be unfair about it. And actually, it's a small fraction compared to what we should be getting. We could be asking for much more, but for the sake of relationships that we've had with a lot of really good countries, we're doing the way I do it. But we're
doing the way I do it.
We could ask for a lot more than what we're asking for.
When you say we're done because you're sending the letters to follow up on Ed had asked earlier, you're counting these as deals by saying, here's the tariff rate we're going to charge.
I'm saying, here it is. Congratulations. Welcome to the United States. I hope you make a lot of money, and you're going to pay us money.
This is so dumb. My understanding is that he just backed down to Xi Jinping of China, that he just backed down. That's my understanding. And I think, if I'm not mistaken here, that homegirl in Mexico just told him to stick it and didn't fucking even try to negotiate with him or anything. Probably a little more diplomatically than that, but that's my understanding about Mexico. And that's the one that people aren't talking about. It's going to hurt. All the produce I get that isn't local is from Mexico, and it's going to go up significantly. Tomatoes could double, is what I was reading. So that's not going to be fun for a lot of people. People don't really understand this stuff. We don't make a lot of shit in the United States. It's intellectual property that we sell. Here's somebody we don't like. It's David Frum. I hate these motherfuckers. All these fucking Lincoln Project, fucking Never Trump motherfuckers. They're like, oh, look at this problem we created.
And Navarro is destroying the American economy. What a tariff is the equivalent of picking up a hammer and hitting yourself in the head. And he's saying to the world, we will not stop hitting ourselves in the head unless you all agree to hit yourselves in the head. The other people are saying, well, we don't want to hit ourselves in the head. Tariffs are bad for the person imposing the tariff. You don't hurt the foreigner with the tariff. You hurt yourself. You make your people pay more. You have higher taxes. You have higher costs. The big bill that Trump just passed, which is supposedly a tax cut bill, includes $2 billion in revenues from tariffs, which are imposed on working people and middle-class people. But it's an especially vicious tax because most of the cost of the tariff, only a small part of the revenue from the tariff, or the cost of the tariff, goes to the government. That is, you put a giant tax on people, collect a little bit of revenue for the government, and most of it is just pure waste. It is just lost to the whole U.S. economy and the world economy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like him, but he's right. A tax is you basically tariffs are a tax on yourself, right? Because the other country, Trump acts like, oh, Mr. Japan is just going to pay for your tariff, like on your fucking Accord or whatever. Mr. Japan is not paying that tax. You are if you go buy a Honda, because Mr. Japan, there's no reason that Mr. Japan should pay that tax. So I've been keeping an eye on something here. I'm not like super good on this stuff, but it looks to me like if the economy tanks due to tariffs or any other number of bad decisions, it looks to me like they're lining up to blame the Federal Reserve for the problem.
Powell is doing the same thing he did with the first term of Donald Trump. He doesn't understand Trumpnomics. He doesn't understand the supply side aspects of tax cuts and deregulation. He doesn't understand the importance of strategic energy dominance and the president's ability to dramatically lower oil prices. And he doesn't have a clue about tariffs.
I'm telling you, they're lining up to blame the Federal Reserve for this. I just think that's what they're going to do, because they're like, most people don't, myself and probably many of you included, don't really understand the Fed, how it works, don't understand central banking, and that's fine. It's like, you can't be an expert on everything.
The Fed is in need of perestroika. In other words, the Fed has to be cleansed of its deep state dislike of all things Donald Trump, and frankly, its deep state bureaucratic groupthink of deadwood economists with models that haven't worked in 50 years. People who are now advising Jay Powell to fight President Trump and Mr. Trump's economic growth agenda. The next Fed chair has to go toe-to-toe with the hundreds of Fed economists who are spurring Jay Powell on his fight against Trump's tariff and reciprocity free trade policies. Also, Mr. Trump's tax cut policies. Economic growth does not cause inflation. Tariffs do not cause inflation, as per CEA Chair Stephen Meyer.
Tariffs directly cause inflation. They immediately and directly cause things to cost more.
His recent paper, and even Austin Goolsbee's interview, Chicago Fed president, where Austin acknowledged the real-world fact that exporters and U.S. companies will eat the tariffs, not consumers or consumer prices.
Well, that's just incorrect. What the fuck? No, they're not. Why would they do that? Like, there's nothing in it for them. Why the fuck would they do that? The exporters and the fucking longshoremen are going to fucking eat the tariff? Shut the fuck up. Fuck out of here. All right, here's some as if we haven't had enough news stuff. They raided MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, and here's just some clips of that and some of the reaction from officials and some of the reaction to the reaction from officials. It was great though. They were like kids playing soccer. Fantastic. So that's fucking stupid. First of all, there wasn't even anybody in the park because people knew they were coming and split. But there were still a few people in the park. Some of them were kids playing soccer, which is, it's not football, so it should be illegal. Here's Mayor Karen Bass at the location. I don't love her. She's a little cozy actually with the cult of Scientology, but she seems to have told them to fuck off, and then they fucked off, I think.
Need to get my phone and we're departing. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor Bass.
Aaron Bass.
Mayor Bass.
Oh my
Any
God.
comment, Mayor Bass?
Thank you.
Mayor Bass, any comment?
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor Bass, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
The head of customs.
Wow.
Damn. I guess she told them to leave and they left. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I believe her, but whatever. We got more. This is a statement from Mayor Bass afterward. Wonderful websites we use here for this show. Here we go.
So this morning it was frightening in Los Angeles to see tanks essentially rolling onto MacArthur Park. I watched a video a little later to see the troops along with mounted patrols marching through in formation at MacArthur Park, where the children that were there for their summer day camp had to leave and go into a building. So they had to hide the children because they didn't want the children to see that the park was being taken over by ICE. It was an egregious show of force. I have no idea what their purpose was. I don't even think they detained anybody. At this point in time, I think they just want to sow terror and fear around our city. And every now and then the military, the Custom and Border Patrol, or some other federal office shows up. Los Angeles was peaceful before June 5th. We need to go back to that. Thank you.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her. We got one more clip here in my list of 4 clips. This is this is actually from the other raid, but we'll run this. This is from I forget where it was at now, in Camarillo, California. It was that the raid of the cannabis farm where everybody on fucking all the people on Facebook were like, oh, there was child labor there. I'm like, where'd you hear that? Here you go.
We met a sister and a wife of a man who works as a security guard here, George Redis. He is a disabled U.S. veteran. He is a U.S. citizen, and they are desperately looking for him. They haven't heard anything about his whereabouts from yesterday. They do say that he was taken in the raid. We want to show you a picture of 25-year-old George Redis, a U.S. Army veteran who his family again says is disabled. They saw via Air 7 yesterday that he was trying to leave the scene in his white vehicle. Take a listen to what his sister and then his wife told us.
I thought he was probably part of the protest, and he wasn't. He was trying to reverse his car. They broke his window, they pepper sprayed him, they grabbed him, threw him on the floor, they detained him. His wife's been trying to call and ask where he is. They don't know where he is. Apparently, no one associates with nobody, so now we don't know what to do. We're just asking to let my brother go. He's a U.S. citizen. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a veteran, disabled citizen. It says it on his car.
And I just want to know where he's at because I have not seen him. And I heard from him since yesterday. And I called LA and they keep saying that they're not going over there. And I just don't know where he's at. I've been up since 6 a.m. trying to call the sheriffs, the police department, Oxnard, Camarillo, Ventura, and I can't hear nothing. They say they don't know, they don't associate.
And as you heard from George Redis's wife, it's his daughter's birthday party tomorrow. She is desperately looking for George. She says that she has called every local police department, the sheriff's department. They don't know where he is, and so that's why the family is camped out.
I wonder what we're going to find out about this, if we ever find out. Did the guy try to fucking stand tall, maybe, and try to provide security to the employees there, or Was he just picked up because he looked kind of Mexican-y, or like, who fucking knows, man? Who fucking knows? But what I do know is that the Fox News, they're talking about arresting the mayor of LA, because they've already talked about how they need to like arrest the not yet elected potential mayor of New York.
When you have scenes like you did out in LA today, where you have the mayor, Karen Bass, interfering with official federal officer proceedings, trying to enforce the laws.
To be fair, from what we know, she just told them to leave and they left.
That are put on the books by members of duly elected members of Congress. Are you all hesitant to just go out and arrest her, or has all of this behavior not reached that threshold yet?
We're certainly keeping everything on the table, Charlie, but I want to ask Karen Bass, who is she protecting? Is the MS-13 gang members we're going after? Is it the child rapists?
Wait, there was nobody in the park. There were no MS-13 doesn't just hang out at the park with like like one of those fucking canopies. It's like, sign up for MS-13 today. You ain't going after no gangsters. You know why? Gangsters will shoot back.
Is it the drug traffickers? Which of the violent criminals who are terrorizing Los Angeles streets is she trying to protect? Because it certainly is not American citizens or her own constituents.
LA is a pretty safe city. What is she talking about? Like, all cities have problems. LA is a pretty safe city. LA, there's not fucking... Are there drugs there? Well, yeah, it's LA. I mean, why wouldn't there be drugs there? But, like, no, LA is like a safe place. I'm from the Bay. I don't be loving LA, but LA is a safe place. I don't understand. I do not understand why they, I don't know. I guess people just assume that because it's, a lot of people assume maybe that because it's a city, that it's dangerous or something. Because of fucking diversity. Maybe just because raw numbers, there's more numbers of crimes in cities than other places, even though like per capita, cities are generally safer than rural areas in the country. I don't know. But what I do know is this is a city of Paris, not Paris, Paris, but Perris is a California city. And I think they're probably going to maybe end up arresting this mayor too.
The city of Paris has received reports of ongoing ICE operations within the area. We urge all residents to remain calm, stay indoors when possible, and know your rights. Do not go out unless necessary. Stay at home and do not open the door to strangers. This message is for awareness and safety. The city is committed to protecting the dignity and well-being of all our residents. Please stay safe and continue to monitor official city communications.
Yeah, that guy just told you not to open the door for ICE and to know your fucking rights. Good. Good mayor. Good mayor. Did you know the people criticizing ICE? They're the fucking termites, and how dare you criticize the fucking Gestapo? Excuse you. Do you know how hard it is to be the Gestapo?
Yeah, to my colleagues and other lawmakers around this nation that are using words like inspiring and encouraging these acts, I would just say you have gone well beyond advancing and arguing for political parties. You are now becoming more like agents of our foreign adversaries that want to destabilize our nation and attack our institutions and government.
Senator James Comey and John Brennan, obviously no strangers to controversy here. What do you make of this investigation?
You know, look, this could be unprecedented that you have a current CIA director forwarding information to the FBI for investigation about a prior CIA director. And, you know, again, I'm going to go back to the hypocrisy of the Democrats. They keep talking about that Trump is bringing retribution and that he's using these institutions for political reasons. This is not retribution. This is fumigation. You've had radicals.
Fumigation? I mean, I don't be loving no fucking CIA director. Fuck the CIA director. But why are you talking like this? What the fuck is wrong with you? God, fucking fascist. This is just straight up fascist shit. That's it.
Them, weakening them. The Dems talk about these institutions being weakened by Trump. He is fumigating these. He is bringing back integrity and accountability. And I believe that these things should be looked at so that the American people can be restored in their belief in these institutions and know that they are, in fact, a government of the people, not a government of a political party seeking to deliver a political agenda. That is.
Yeah, the fucking Republican Party not trying to deliver a political agenda. Dude, I don't know how I'm supposed to say this. You start going after fucking spooks and you end up dead, right? Like, you start going after the fucking former CIA director, and that's a good way to get yourself JFK'd. Like, well, fuck the CIA. They're professional liars. You shouldn't believe a word they say. And it's not like this, oh, the CIA is going to save us. Well, not really, because that'd be really bad. But I don't know if this is a great idea. Don't start going after spies, dude. Here's Stephen Miller talking about how we can make Los Angeles great again. And I think he means white, because Los Angeles, historically a white city.
It's a crime. And again, another example of how the city government of Los Angeles is waging a campaign of insurrection against the federal government. Let's be very clear. What would Los Angeles look like without illegal aliens? Here's what it would look like. You would be able to see a doctor in the emergency room right away, no wait time, no problem. Your kid.
Yeah, but who would clean the hospital?
Would go to a public school that had more money than they know what to do with.
Who would clean the school?
Classrooms would be half the size. Students who had special needs would get all the attention that they needed. There would be no violent transnational gangs. There would be no cartel.
There would be no violent transnational gangs? What?
There would be
you think America ain't got our own fucking homegrown violent transnational gangs? Like, what is this guy talking about?
Mexican mafia. There would be no Serenos. There would be no MS-13. There would be no
MS-13 came from LA.
You would be living in a city that would be safe, that would be clean. There would be no.
LA is safe and clean.
Fentanyl. There would be no drug dens. That could be the future Los Angeles could have, but the leaders in Los Angeles have formed an alliance with the cartels and the criminal aliens.
All right, Stephen Miller.
Oh, man. They formed an alliance with the cartels. I think I may have fucked up here on my docket. Yeah, it's the same clip. I put the same clip twice on the docket, so we're not going to watch it again here. That's good because the docket's real long. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. And now it's time to go full. Now it's time to go full QAnon with this shit, everybody. I don't know if you're ready for this. Well, I mean, you came here for something. It's save the children time.
We have example after example. We go to homes, 13, 14, 15-year-old children who are raped on a daily basis because the Biden administration...
What? I'm sorry, what?
The Democrat Party chose to traffic them into this country. So
yeah,
we will be unrelenting in our effort to free these
kids. Yeah, this is a huge story, and it
look, she cut him off even. Did you see that? She was like, this is a little bit pilled.
Administration tried to push them out of these holding facilities at the border and into the
Fuck yeah.
People who were picking them
Fuck
up.
Yeah.
Where one person picked up 150 children. So
Wait, what? No. The fuck, I was just fucking throw them rocks. Like, what the fuck, dude? I think that they're just anytime they go anywhere where there's kids, they're probably just assuming, they're like not assuming, they know it's not true. They're going to tell you that the kids there, the minors there are being abused. Because that's where they're going next with this, right? Because people are not really liking this Gestapo thing. They're not really liking the alligator Auschwitz. So where they're going next with this, it has to be that all these people are fucking child abusers. Because that's where this always goes, right? You have to do this. They have no choice.
I've got to get your reaction to this Biden-appointed federal judge out in Los Angeles, apparently expected today to issue a temporary restraining order halting your lawful operations. She says, I think it's important for the court not to burden otherwise lawful law enforcement activities. Your reaction there?
Look, people need to understand, ICE officers and Border Patrol, they don't need probable cause to walk up to somebody, briefly detain them, and question them.
Listen, I'm not a constitutional expert. They put it in the first 10 amendments, first 5, the 5th one.
They just need this, so totality of the circumstances, right? They just got through the observation, get articulable facts based on the location, the occupation, their physical appearance.
So you're in LA, you're a gardener, and you look Mexican-y, so we're going to stop you. Fuck that. Absolutely. Fuck that.
Their actions, like a uniformed border policeman walks up to them at for instance, a Home Depot, and they got all these articulable facts, plus the person walks away or runs away. Agents are trained.
Well, this is because these people, they're afraid of you. They've seen what's going on. Oftentimes they're not identifying themselves. They're wearing masks. They look like the fucking Gestapo. If I see them, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully I would be able to like use the fact that I'm like a fucking 48-year-old white guy to like fucking waste their time. But I don't know. Maybe I just run. Fuck it. Can I outrun them? Some of them look like I certainly can.
What they need to detain somebody temporarily and question them. It's not probable cause, it's reasonable suspicion. We're trained on that. Every agent, every 6 months gets...
Well, no, reasonable suspicion is like if a fucking cop pulls you over and they think you have a gun that you're not telling them about. And that's like reasonable suspicion. Fuck the cops and shit, but like, okay. If they like saw you throw what appeared to be a gun under the seat, well, then they have reasonable suspicion that you have a gun that you don't want them knowing about. Reasonable suspicion doesn't mean at Home Depot and Mexican.
Training over and over again. These officers are really good at what they do. And if this judge would make a decision that's against what these officers are trained, what the law is based upon, then they're going to shut down operation. I think that's their end game. They want ICE to stop doing this. But if they base it on the rule of law, they're going to find out Border Patrol and ICE is doing exactly what they're going to do in accordance with law.
And you're not going to stop coming. Tom Homan, thank you for getting up with us this morning.
Yeah, this isn't the reasonable suspicion. The reasonable suspicion standard kind of sucks, but like it's policing, even like in good countries, right? Where the police don't shoot, like fucking Germany, the police don't shoot nobody, and they probably have some reasonable suspicion things going on. But it generally isn't because you look Mexican-y or whatever, and then the fucking Gestapo stops you, primarily because the Germans actually had the Gestapo. Tend not to engage in overly aggressive policing because, I could see maybe why they would be hesitant to engage in over aggressive policing over there in a country like Germany. But that's really dumb. That guy just said literally what you look like is a reason that he just said the part that you're not supposed to say. You look Mexican and you're at Home Depot. So here he is on, I forget this lady's name, this other Fox News ghoul. I forget her name now, but she is she's gonna have him on to like say something different, actually.
Reasonable suspicion and what it actually means on the ground when it comes to ICE detaining people. You said
it's a do-over. He gets to do a do-over.
In an interview this week that reasonable suspicion can be based on, quote, the location, their occupation.
Well, this isn't even Fox News. Who's this lady? I just assumed this was Fox because of this. Fucking look at me, all bigoted against blonde women.
Their actions. What about an individual's physical appearance would give immigration agents, quote, reasonable suspicion that they might be in the U.S. illegally?
Well, first of all, let me be clear. Physical description can't be the sole factor to give you.
It shouldn't be the fact. What do you mean? Oh, no. I mean, if it's a third of the thing that's fucking fucked up too, you can't do that. It looks Mexican-y to me. Like, that's not, no. I mean, what if it's 10%? That's still fucking not great.
Suspicion, as I said in an interview, is articulable facts with an S. So appearance can be just one. For instance, if someone has an MS-13 tattoo on their face, that may be one factor to add to other factors to raise reason.
I feel like this isn't like, first of all, there's supposedly it's going to be on your knuckles, but I also, these gangs, it's been a long time. A lot of gangs, like they got wise and stopped branding their members because it made it easy to find their members.
Suspicion. I want to be clear about that again because my words are taken out of context. Physical description cannot be the sole reason to detain and question somebody. that can't be the sole reason to raise reasonable suspicion. It's a myriad of factors, and I can sit here for the next half hour and give you all the factors. So every officer, every situation is different. But I can tell you this: every ICE officer goes through Fourth Amendment training every 6 months and reminded what their authorities are for arrest, detention, and questioning. So the officers are very well trained. So I look forward to DOJ litigating this judge's decision. I think she's making a decision without knowing what that officer knows when they get out of that.
Well, what you're saying in the last clip and what you said here are probably going to be. I would, if I was the one bringing the lawsuit, I would use this. I'd be like, look at what this guy said.
So what that same judge in the case said is that an individual's race or ethnicity, the language they speak or their accent, their presence at a particular location like a bus stop or a work site.
A bus stop. A bus stop? And to be fair, nobody rides the bus in LA.
Type of work they do does not qualify as reasonable suspicions.
Well, like I said, these are factors that lead to reasonable suspicion. There's a myriad of factors. Every case is different. I'm not going to disagree with everything the judge has said because, a location alone shouldn't have reasonable suspicion. It's a combination.
No, actually, you being somewhere could in and of itself be a reason for reasonable suspicion. Like if it looks like a house was just lit on fire and you're fleeing the scene. Just your location.
Of articulable facts that an officer determines before he detains somebody for a short period of time and questions them. So
if you are detained ever for any reason, even if the fucking cop tries to tell you you're not being detained, don't say shit. And if it's masked people and you think you can, I don't know, maybe run. Because this isn't good at all. Oh no, here we go. Is our Antifa gonna fucking go after ICE? Which, I mean, if ICE is going to clash in the street with somebody, those people are generally going to be anti-fascists by disposition. But these people mean like the bloc, right? They mean people in bloc. They mean like highly organized people with plans for street action. But the response here is interesting.
In Alvarado, Texas, a few days ago, 10 people wearing all black allegedly set off fireworks outside an ICE office to lure the officers out so they could ambush them, shoot at them. They had guns and vests and two-way radios. Do you think that this was an isolated incident, or
this could have been the Boog or something like the Boogaloo Boys, right? This could be anybody. This could be until we find out. We're probably never going to find out who did this. Seemed like they had a pretty good OPSEC. But this could be like accelerationists that want to see a civil war. I don't know. I'm just saying that it doesn't necessarily have to be liberals or left-leaning people or anti-fascists. There are any number of people, any number of organizations that are sort of on the record saying that their intent is to throw fuel on these kinds of fires.
do you think there's a national threat of a left-wing militia that is targeting ICE and CBP?
Well, I think you have some very stupid people in the left who have some money that are making it available to these people, because you look at the guns they had, they were brand new. You look at even the clothing they were wearing, it looked like it just came out of some military shop.
Soros, he means Soros. This 100% he's talking about George Soros.
So you have some very stupid people that if anything ever happened, they'd be the first to go. They don't understand that. They'd be the first to go. They'd be the first ones hit. But there is money being put behind people. When you look at the weapons they have, the newness of the weapons, rifles that just came out and they have the latest model. So there's something going on, and we'll get to the...
I'm sorry, this stuff isn't that expensive.
And what do you think the penalty should be for these people who are, if they are found guilty, for people
Very
who
stiff.
shoot at ICE officers?
Very, very stiff. Very stiff. A long time in jail, a long time. And one got hit yesterday in the neck, and he fortunately is going to be okay, but he got hit yesterday in the neck.
No good.
And what would you
So we're talking, what if it's, I don't even know. I haven't looked into this story. If it's a team of 5 or let's say 10 people, right? You're looking at, you go to Army Surplus to buy the tactical gear. You're looking at like $100, $150 per person. And then the firearms. Firearms are what, 2,500, 3,000. So you're well under 50 grand here to do something like this, because this is America. And this, you can just get guns. You get the guns on the black market. They're probably cheaper. In fact, you probably are using, if you're doing something like this, you're probably not using guns that are registered. So you're getting guns on the black market. Also, how does Trump know that the guns were brand new? Like, seems like a little bit of a weird thing to say. This is one of the things that's gonna happen. Based on what I've heard about this, I think there's some chance that these people are not gonna get caught. And so they're just gonna assume that it was like lefties. They're going to say that it was lefties. And I don't know who it was. It could be left-wing protesters, a left-wing group that has decided to arm themselves and take action. I don't know if the time for that is now, but some people might believe the time for that is now. And if that's what's going on, then that's what's going on. But there are just tons of militia groups that are happy to throw fuel on this fire, because they're not so much ideologically driven against ICE as much as they want to see a civil war, because they think that they will win a civil war and take over the country. Anyway, this is something I didn't expect to be reporting on this week. I can't believe this shit right here. Homeboy's wife got taken, and he still supports this set of policies.
She came and kissed the kids, and that was it. That's the last time I saw her.
A proud President Trump supporting family in Diamond Bar.
Election time was here.
Hey man, don't throw them kids under the big. Them kids don't support Trump. Those are kids.
3-4 flags out.
Even while their mom faces immigration questions. Has your opinion changed on this?
That's a good question. Somewhat, it has. Just because I'm going through it. I was very selfish before. But what I see right now is, okay, there's a reason for it.
Arthur Sahakian's wife, Arpaneh, was born in Iran and moved to the United States when she was 3 as a refugee.
She cashed a check, I believe it was less than $200, and this is all where it started.
Then, about 15 years ago, her green card was revoked over a conviction related to theft.
It's all misdemeanor stuff.
Arthur says they've been going through the legal process towards regaining citizenship with check-ins every 6 months or so.
She just went in April, and they said, okay, you're fine. Have a good day. We'll see you back in September or October.
Any regrets with your vote?
None. Still supporting him.
While her family continues showing support for
what the fuck,
hoping their mom comes home soon.
Trump is not trying to do anything bad. We understand what he's doing, and he wants the best for the country.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? Oh man. Oh. I didn't like the news framing it as a Trump supporting family, because like them kids don't know. They don't know any better. So over in Ventura County, we ran a clip from it earlier because I screwed up my docket, but this happened. This is we ran a clip. I think the same young lady here actually was in the clip we ran earlier. So I think they saw kids running, right? I think the claims that there were children working there is because there's kids running away. But there was already like a protest that had started and stuff. This wasn't like, this is complicated. I don't think there was child labor. If there was child labor at this fucking cannabis farm, then fuck them. But because of the people telling me, like on Facebook and Facebook groups, that there was child labor there, and when I'm like, hey, where'd you hear that? They start calling me names, which is the way it goes on Facebook. I think they didn't hear it anywhere. They heard it on Facebook.
Panic, do not run! Do not run!
Do not run. Fuck that. Who's telling him not to run? Somebody starts shooting tear gas at me while I'm at work. I'm running. What are you talking about? Don't run. Fuck off.
They took your mom?
They took that young man's mother. Like, this is horrible.
Do not panic, do not run!
Oh, it got the clip ran twice. Don't panic is good. Don't panic, do run. Right? Don't panic, run. I know it seems a little inconsistent, but you can run away without panicking, right? You can run away and maybe make sure you don't trample anybody, keep track of the people that you know there. You can run and not panic. Here's an aerial shot of what was going on here from the news. ABC 7, probably the Los Angeles ABC affiliate.
Protesters who have showed up to vehemently protest what's going on here. And just in the last few minutes, Customs and Border Patrol helicopter has entered the scene here. They are landing in the middle of the farm as we speak. It does appear that they were not planning to be here as long as they have been. And so this helicopter that you're looking at here, guys, apparently just made a run over to Van Nuys Airport for some cases of water, which is what they're bringing into the scene here. So there are a whole team of ICE agents at the farm. There are other agents down there as well as the National Guard police standing guard and protecting Laguna Road as this enforcement action takes place right here, going into hour number 4 this afternoon. Again, a major situation transpiring here in Camarillo, and it does not appear that they were intending to stay this long.
Yeah, they didn't count on people in the sticks showing up. But yeah, the people in the sticks are going to start showing up when these people start raiding like a cannabis farm. Get the fuck out of here. I also see people going, oh, well, that's a drug trafficking thing. I'm like, you dumb fuck. Cannabis is legal in California. Shut the absolute fuck up. So they let some lawmakers from Florida go to Alligator Auschwitz. I have a couple clips here. We're not the biggest fans of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, but also like big shout out to her for like getting off the public stage when it was probably time for her to do so. But here's her, and I presume maybe another Florida lawmaker, but the clip's 2 minutes 30.
Let's be clear, throughout this entire tour, it was repeated over and over that the state is working hand in glove with ICE. This facility was inspected by ICE. They review their detention standards. They are using cages. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures that you've seen don't do it justice. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage.
What are the dimensions of the cage?
The only thing inside those...
Were these like 20 by 20 or something? Because I saw the pictures. They didn't look like space for fucking 32 people.
Cages are they're bunk beds, and there are 3 tiny toilets that are toilet units that have a sink attached to it. So they essentially drink, they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth, where they poop in the same unit. They bragged that...
I mean, we do that in our bathrooms here. This is not that. But I mean that the conditions are fucking inhumane, but like, I don't know. Also, like our carceral system here ain't great. So I don't know how different this is than, remember that shit that in Arizona where Joe Arpaio was bragging about those outdoor camps? I wonder, this probably isn't, I mean, not to say that this is okay, but this is in line with the history of the carceral system in the United States of America.
They went above standards, supposedly, and gave them a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length inside the 32 detainee cage. A 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length of the 3 toilets in a row. The showers provide no privacy at all. There are no curtains on it. It's a big open shower unit. There are, small walls in each shower. But, we're talking about all 900 men who are held in this facility. It is built currently for 1,000, and they have no privacy at all when they're showering. For meals, when we walked through the quote-unquote meal prep area, the kitchen area, for lack of a better term, they had the portions that were available for detainees, and they had the portions that were available for employees being prepared at the same time. The portions available for employees large pieces of roast chicken, large sausages, and the detainees' lunches were a small, gray turkey and cheese sandwich, an apple, and chips, and that's it. We're talking about
like a shitty school lunch for a 10-year-old.
Men being fed very small portions. When I asked,
yo, dude, this is a concentration camp. And people are going to start dying there. That's the point. Here is Maxwell Frost. Maxwell Frost is a congressman from Florida's 10th district, and here's what he has to say about what he saw. He didn't get a presser like Debbie Wasserman Schultz did, so he just did it from his car.
Hey everybody, I just left the Everglades internment camp, the Everglades detention facility for immigrants, and I gotta tell you that the conditions are horrible. These are people being caged. 32 people per cage. Only 3 toilets for a group of 32 grown men. And where they drink water is from the toilet. It's only a spigot that comes from the toilet, and that's where you also drink water. The food portions are horrible. It was very hot and warm within the actual tent where the cages are held. I saw people sweating. And they didn't let us walk fully in. They opened the door and let us look in, and people were yelling at us, help me, help me. I heard somebody in the back yell, I'm a U.S. citizen. We're going to look into that. But something that really struck me is as we were walking away from those cages, they started chanting, libertad, 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 freedom. And I saw people in those cages who look exactly like me.
Well, that's great, because if you fucking speak up too much, they're probably putting you in that cage.
People my age. Every Floridian should be ashamed that our taxpayer money is being used for this. Terrorizing communities, putting people in an internment camp full of Latinos. And so I just wanted to do this report out fresh from leaving. We were in there for 2 hours. I will be back. We were able to get some clarification on the legal standing of the facility, but I can tell you this. They said that they're getting all their instructions from ICE. That is a federal detention center that is being run by the state. We are all allowed to go there unannounced whenever we want and see things how they actually are. So we'll keep everybody up.
You may think that. This is, remember everybody, oh, you're overreacting to this stuff. Fascism isn't coming. You're overreacting. No. It's here. We're like past. I don't know when it was or what the event horizon was, but we're past some kind of event horizon here. And I think as a society, as a people, we need to start organizing and thinking about what kinds of risks we as individuals and we as groups are willing to take to stop this. We're on corporate-owned platforms here. Places where everything that I say is available to the public, so I have to be a little bit careful what I'm talking about here. But there are ways for people to organize that are not Twitch, that are not Discord, that are not Facebook, and I would hope that people who are concerned for the safety of their community and their society start to organize in those ways to the extent that it is possible, depending upon where you live. This seems a little bit weird, whatever, but after this, we fucking need a palate cleanser. So here's some goats.
I'm así, man.
That baby is great.
Ow.
Oh man, I don't know if that's the safest thing in the world, but that was my favorite part, is the kid with the helmet. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Climb on them horses, goats. Well, that was super cute. I know that the fucking docket has been a bit of a downer. We have more. There's only a few more. This is a long fucking podcast portion of the show. This is, we're watching a fake scandal be manufactured in real time. Zoran Mondami, who won the New York City primary. The scandal that's being manufactured is that he claimed to be black on some kind of form. My understanding is the truth of the matter is that he said that he was from Africa, or that he was, I forget now, but it was like the options were limited in such a way where he had to put like African. I forget now. I forget the exact thing. And that's probably the point of the lying campaign, right? Is so that like the lies are so constant and so many that somebody like me, I fucking looked into this. I fucking forgot now because the lies are just so much simpler, so much easier to remember than the truth, because the truth is complicated.
Greg, he didn't get into Columbia University, even though he checked all the operative boxes in 2009. His dad was on the faculty, apparently, still couldn't get in. That may be the big story here.
Yeah, I want to know how stupid he really is. I mean, his SAT scores must be lower than Jesse's.
Not everybody gets into NYU. Yeah, thank you. It's that his dad is Ugandan, and so he put African. Right. It was, and that's just like, I mean, also he was like trying to get into university. He was like 17 or 18 or whatever, but he put African because his dad is Uganda. Yeah. I think that's exactly what it was. And like, well, yeah, that's Uganda is in Africa. So
that's possible. But what I love about him, he's not even Ugandan. You know, by definition, you have to have parents or grandparents who are Ugandan. He was born in Uganda. Both of his parents are Indian, which might be the reason why they left. But
wait, what?
But what's interesting is he didn't say he was Indian because he knew they have the highest median household income in the United States, and he knew that wouldn't help him in the oppression Olympics. He was smart enough to see what could get him preferential treatment, so he adorned himself with a different race, which exposes the lie.
It said African. He was born in Africa.
Politics.
Was his dad Ugandan? See, like this is he didn't even get in, and his dad was a professor there.
So unfair to be black in America. Why are you pretending to be one? You know, I doubt you can find a single person in America pretending to be white to get ahead. You know, no one wants to be Jesse. They don't, you know, and so this lie of race, it only goes in one direction because it gets you to the front of the line faster because of corporations, human resources, colleges. If they treat you better, then they get treated better. It's a little virtue signal for them that gets them a lot of popularity at cocktail parties. It is amazing that this kid has had all the breaks.
I love that this guy, all the New York fucking elites at the cocktail parties, all of these motherfuckers live in New York, and they will never leave New York City because it's New York City. Why would you leave? If you have the money and you live there, it's the best place in the world.
Than this guy, and he goes all in on victimhood. He's the poster boy for this progressive woke shyster. Can I say shyster?
I think so.
Okay,
but don't ask me.
Yeah, he pretends to be oppressed in order to oppress, because he knows once you get into power, you're exempt from the very rules you enforce on others.
So, Dana, I'm thinking he would have been more truthful if there were boxes to check: socialist, obviously, right. Nepo baby, entitled.
Wait, what? So, I think this document, I don't think I've seen this document. I think maybe the document isn't available.
Greg, he didn't get into.
Is this the same? Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah. Okay, so this wasn't too. I mean, so much news this week. My docket is all fucked up. But like, he was like 17 or 18 or something, filling out a form trying to get into university. And like, if you were born in Africa and your dad was a Ugandan citizen, wouldn't you just put African? I don't know what else you're supposed to put. Here, this one's a little more fun. And as we get to the end, except for like the very, no, never mind. That's incorrect. The thing I was just about to say is not true, but this one's a little bit fun. If you go on Fox and Friends, the rules are that you hate the subway.
I wanted to ask you about this, and it's crime in transit. So felony assaults in transit have skyrocketed as of May of this year, up 19% from May of last year, and up 66% from 2019. Talk to us about your thoughts.
So this could be that it's being enforced more, right? This could be more enforcement.
Statement from MTA that said, look, subway crime is down, ridership's up, congestion pricing is working, and we look forward to the secretary wrapping his head around the facts. What say you, sir, about how MTA is approaching their sky?
Yeah, if they're charging, like, because fights happen on the fucking subway and shit, if they're charging more of those as felony assault, that might just be that they were like, okay, break it up before, which might be a better way to do it.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
Right.
So if you include the pickpocketers in those stats, yes, pickpocketers might have gone down, but assaults have gone up, to your point, Emily, by 66% since 2019. It's dangerous to ride the subway in New York.
No, it's not.
And again, if you're Kathy Hochul, the governor, or if you're MTA, you don't ride the subway. This is a war on.
This dude doesn't ride the sub. Shut the fuck up. None of these people ride the subway. They're all terrified of it.
Working Americans who have to ride the subway, and these people don't seem to want to make it safe. And so it's very simple. Our point is, listen, if you want the federal government to participate in funding your subway system,
So they showed a video which looked like a verbal altercation.
Make it safe so people and families can get on and make sure they're not going to have their lives threatened, their health threatened.
That might not have even been a verbal altercation they showed. Maybe they were just two dudes having a fucking conversation.
The subway, because MTA is, by the way, is the organization that runs the subway in New York. They're not willing to fight crime like they should. By the way, when they talk about congestion pricing, yeah.
Also, like some of this is that the thing they're showing here. What if it's just a fight? I mean, it's not. Don't go on getting in fights and shit. But sometimes people get into a fight. I don't understand.
It's working because they're raising money. That's why they say it's working. Right. But congestion is horrible still in the city. That's because they're taking roads for buses and for cars, and they're making them bike lanes. So when you take
the congestion is horrible. They're making bike lanes.
More congestion, and then they complain about congestion. It's just stupid liberals with stupid policies that impact the lives of New Yorkers. And again, if MTA or the governor don't care, DOT, President Trump, and I care about their safety as they ride the subways.
And
like the subway's fine. Everybody rides the subway in New York except for these people. If you have like New York is a big fucking city with a lot of people in it. If you have cameras all over the place in the subway system, then yeah, you're going to catch people getting into fights. It happens. Sometimes it's people that, sometimes people maybe already know each other and don't like each other, right? And it had nothing to do with the subway. It just happened to be that's where you ran into somebody whose ass you want to beat. I mean, I know that's not a nice way to talk about it, but it's just like people get into fights, man. I don't know what to tell you. Did you guys know that Superman is woke?
And publicity. This is the launch of the whole new DC universe that he's commandeering. Why he would go and blow it up in the 11th hour after hundreds of millions of dollars of marketing and publicity, talking about kindness and look at Superman, the red cape, he's got a dog. This is a lousy way to go. And the question is, did he do this to try to cover up the coming financial disaster, to make it look like it was a political reaction? We'll see. I just did a whole podcast on this. It's a very interesting question, but this may go the way of Snow White.
Well,
we'll see.
The upcoming finance, didn't that movie absolutely like fucking blow away any other Superman movie, like even adjusted for inflation, like on the first day or something? Like, didn't they fucking kill? Didn't like hell of people go see Superman? Also, like, not for nothing, Superman is woke. Superman has always been woke. not just Superman, but comic books generally were fucking woke. I don't like that. The word's kind of dumb, but the comic books generally have been like, the X-Men, they were mistreated because they were different. And that was a running theme in the X-Men. Superman wasn't even from this planet and came down here and tried to help the people of the planet with his powers to make the world a better place. And he had a dog. Yeah, Superman did have a dog, I think most of the time. He had a dog. Did you know that? They're ruining this. They give him a little dog. Oh, man. Here's the president of the United States talking about how bombing Iran just made him, it must have been like what Truman felt like, dropping nuclear weapons on Japan.
Mechanically, I mean, when you think in carrying the biggest bombs ever, the biggest bombs that we've ever dropped on.
Probably not.
Anybody.
Does he just mean size or does he mean payload?
I think non-nuclear, and we want to keep it
non-nuclear,
by the way. But they did a phenomenal job. It was an amazing job, and I think that was, I was talking to Bibi about it before, that was the very beginning of the end. It ended very quickly after that. I don't want to say what it reminded me of, but if you go back a long time ago, it reminded people of a certain other event, and is Harry Truman's picture is now in the lobby, in a nice location in the lobby where it should have been, but that stopped a lot of fighting. And this stopped a lot of fighting. When that happened, it was a whole different ballgame.
He's like, this is just like when we nuked somebody twice. Oh, it's not funny. It's horrible, but what are we going to do here? Now here's this guy. I fucking hate these people. They all do this shit. This is my least favorite thing. This is Senator Tillis. This is one of those. Well, now that I'm leaving, the monster that I created is bad. Fucking, you're gonna join the Lincoln Project and shit after he fucking retires. Fucking asshole.
Come together. What does the Republican Party need to do to get its message right? Less fealty to one man? I have fealty to ideals. I don't have fealty to any one man. And I do believe that we're doing the president a disservice. President Trump, nor any president, could possibly be expected to have a detailed understanding of all the things that they have to deal with. What the president needs to do is start really looking at the outcome of some of these policy decisions and ask himself, is he really getting the best professional advice? That's what I've been trying to provide him for the last few years, and that's what I'm going to continue to provide him. And
wait, why? Why don't you tell him to go fuck himself? Be like, fuck you.
Right, but as somebody who's been in elected office for 20 years at the leadership level in the state house, and
like if this guy meant any of this, he would be like, I actually don't talk to the president of the United States anymore. The president can go fuck himself. Am I allowed to say that on CNN?
All I can up here. I hope that he starts listening to more of us and fewer of those people who pretend like they're the president when he's out of the room over in the White House. Who are you talking about? There will be plenty of time for me to cover that later.
Oh, he's writing a book. He's writing a book and joining the Lincoln Project. Homeboy's writing a book and joining the Lincoln Project. He could name names and say some shit now, but it hurt his book sales. And lastly, for the podcast version of the show, fuck, dude, this Sunday show, the podcast portion, it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. This is Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma State Superintendent of Education, has partnered with PragerU to give teachers an America First test.
The state superintendent wants incoming teachers from progressive states, progressive in education, to go through testing before teaching here. That includes states like California and New York. Ryan Walters says conservative media nonprofit PragerU will develop the assessment. Walters says teachers will test on 3 areas: biological differences between boys and girls, the U.S. Constitution, and American exceptionalism.
So big love to Kikyo that hangs out in the chat regularly for putting us on to this Ryan Walters piece of shit. This guy is everything that Moms for Liberty was trying to do in one person. They're going to have like a fucking loyalty test. You think Oklahoma's you think Oklahoma's probably already having a bit of a hard time attracting like really good teachers? Not that, there's good people in Oklahoma. Tulsa's probably a fucking pretty cool town and shit. Like, I understand all that, but they're probably having a hard time attracting talent now. Like anybody who like knows American history and doesn't want to like shit on kids for being queer. Now I guess they're gonna fucking be like, oh, you want me to take a Nazi test? I'm not taking your Nazi test. And just go work somewhere else. Colorado's over there. It's beautiful in Colorado. You go work in Colorado. So that's the podcast portion of the show. It usually doesn't go this long. If you're here at the end of the podcast portion of the show on the podcast, you should consider coming and checking the show out live sometime. The show's live. It starts at 7 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. And as I always say at the end of the show, if you're watching live, if you were maybe part of the raid that we just got from Justin Freakin, stick around. Pour yourself a drink. What does Justin say? Knock one back, and I forget what he says. Pour yourself a drink, roll a joint, and hang out because we're going into red light. Thanks, everybody, and thanks to all the people who sat through this horrible, horrible podcast. This is Boomers by Periscope. I'll be back in a minute. That is not Boomers by Periscope. This is Boomers by Periscope.